are the Approach Shot. Hang out with us. Hey, it's John Ashton. I got to tell you, we're halfway through the first weekend of the NCAA March Madness tournament, and what happens? I am already mathematically eliminated from any contention in the office bracket pool. But not to worry, because I have covered my bases with MyBookie, mybookie.ag. You go there right now, use the promo code APPROACH, and you're going to grab yourself a 50% deposit bonus. That means they will match your initial bonus up to half of what you put in. MyBookie has several March Madness-focused contests, including but not limited to a $100,000 NCAA bracket challenge, which is $10 to enter, and a $10,000 bracket with only a $1 entry fee. MyBookie bonus playthrough requirements are often much lower than competitors on both the sportsbook and the casino side. So you're missing out if you're not there already. MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code APPROACH and get a 50% deposit bonus. MyBookie.ag. And hopefully you're going to do much better in March Madness than am I. And we are back with the Approach Shot. I'm John Ashton. He is Neil Michaels.
I'm Neil Michaels.
You are that, indeed.
You know what? Let's both say it. Let's say it together.
Okay. I'm John Ashton. You are Neil
Michaels. Yeah,
okay.
But nobody ever applauds.
They do. You just can't hear it. That's okay, another one of those engineering faux pas going on in your studio at the moment here. Let's talk LPGA for a little bit, Tom, because you're somewhat versed in that, being the main play-by-play guy for the LPGA. One of the things that we have always said is that the average golfer can really relate to the LPGA more than they can relate to the guys on tour at the PGA. You're looking at a PGA Tour event and go, well, he's got 176. Dennis Johnson pulls out his pitching wedge. You go, are you crazy? You know?
Or look, that drive just went 370 yards.
Yeah.
Which is, two shots for most of us.
The game the LPGA plays is much more similar to the game that the average golfer would play. So we can relate to it better, don't you think?
Yeah, in terms of distance, I think the distance they hit it. Yeah, it's similar to the average good sort of club golfer. Yeah, mm-hmm. But I think in terms of their game, it's very different. I mean, I think they're very accurate off the tee in general, and the short game tends to be a bit sharper. But it's changing. There are some players coming out onto the LPGA Tour who hit the ball a very long way, and I think the game is slowly changing. Whether that will continue to be a trend in women's golf, I don't know. Accuracy is still a big premium on this tour. Yeah. That will be interesting. But there is now a core group of players who have a lot of speed, a lot of power, and hit the ball, 300 yards or so, which, gets to sort of the realm of what we see on the PGA Tour. But the majority of players, you're right, they do hit the ball a similar distance. They do hit it farther than your average golfer in a club, I think, at a decent golf club. Sure. I think there's this feeling that they hit it sort of 230, 240 now. They're in the 260, 270 range. Yeah. But I think you can learn a lot from these players in the way that they go about their game, and accuracy is a real key. Fairways and greens is a big key on the LPGA Tour.
Yeah, that whole middle of the fairway thing, man. That's hard.
It's not easy to find.
No, it's not. No. Not at all.
With Michelle Wie coming back, how big is that for the LPGA to have a person that's got that kind of notoriety who sort of carried the name for a while?
It depends how she plays. I mean, I think if Michelle can get back to some sort of form that could take her into the winner's circle, then yes, it's an important, she's an important figure for the LPGA Tour. She's still a massive star. There's a lot of draw in her. Her name has huge recognition in the game, but it doesn't really count for much if she can't provide the goods. And so, I think it's really going to be a case of how she plays. Does she come back and struggle, or does she come back and continue to build on what she has had in the past? The other factor for Michelle is that she's always been injured. Throughout her whole career, her last 10 years or so, she's had injury after injury after injury. I mean, the list is endless, and I think that's held her back. And if she can be healthy, then, who knows what she could do. But, if you look at the way, her wins have stretched over a sort of 9-year period, and it's kind of been up and down. She's won 5 times on the tour. I think injuries and fitness is a massive factor for Michelle, and whether she can be fit enough over a long period of time to compete and be back to the top of her game, we'll see. I mean, she seems to be swinging it well, but it's a case of putting all the pieces together. And she's, it's taking almost a 2-year break. It's difficult to come back. And there's a lot going on in her life. But I think, having talked to her, she seems the happiest that I've ever seen her. And, she looks the best in terms of just the vibe that she's giving off. She looks radiant. She looks happy. I think, that's something that I've not seen from Michelle. So that is a good sign for her.
In so many ways, everything you said there and the way she plays and the spotlight that she brings reminds me so much of pieces of Tiger's game.
Yeah, I mean, Tiger provided a lot better results. But I think he had the X factor. There aren't many players that have the X factor. And, I always thought that it was Tiger, Michelle, and John Daly. They were 3 players that, the audience, they were very different players, but the audience always wanted to know what was going on with them. And, Tiger Woods to a completely different level. But, people were fascinated by John Daly, and they're still fascinated by him when he tees it up in the PGA Tour Championship. And Michelle's the same way. People are fascinated by what she's done and what's going on with her and what's happening in her life. And that's a good thing for sport. I mean, I think for golf, you need these characters that draw the audience, that fascinate people, that people are very inquisitive about. And, but Tiger is the king. I mean, there's nobody, Arnold Palmer is the king, but Tiger is Tiger is this character that I don't think anybody will get close to in terms of, the public's fascination of him. And a lot of that comes down to obviously what he did on the golf course. I mean, the records speak for themselves,
Yeah. How difficult is it for you to learn the pronunciations? Because predominant number of players are Asian, and especially the women from Thailand, man.
Well, the Thai names are usually the easiest names because they're quite phonetic, So
okay.
I think the Eastern European names are the hardest because there's pronunciation, and when you look at it, it's difficult. Korean names tend to be fairly simple, but sometimes certain letters are pronounced a different way.
Right.
But we spend a lot of time on that actually, and the easiest thing to do is just go to the player and we have them record it into somebody's phone, and then we can listen to how they say it. But
and practice.
Oftentimes, but oftentimes they don't have their accent. You can't say it like their accent on the air. It sounds a bit silly. So. We have to sort of adapt it a little bit. And then certain players will adapt their name to anglicize it. So then it'll change over a period of time, which makes things difficult. So it's constantly changing. Players will decide, oh, hold on, this is too difficult for English speakers. I'm gonna adapt my name, and then we have to change it. So
Have you been researching a 6-pack of questions for Mr. Abbott?
Of course I have.
You want to take a quick break and come back and ask him?
Are we on the air? Do we do this every week? Yeah, I think so. I think Mr. Abbott is going to enjoy this.
So I'm asking you stupid questions too, is what you're trying to tell me. No problem. Okay.
Come on, John.
We're going to come back. We're going to come back and ask 6 non-stupid questions of Tom Abbott. So we come right back. We are the Approach Shot. Smart Money says 2021 is going to be better than 2020. Expansions, things loosening up, all means that it's probably a good opportunity for you to think about hiring some more folks and bringing them in and expanding your team. And if you're doing that, I want to give you 2 words. Actually, it's 1 hyphenated word, LinkedIn. You already know LinkedIn. You're already on it. You already use it for networking. Why don't you use it to find the right people to expand your team? 722 million members worldwide are on LinkedIn right now. New features help you find qualified candidates quickly. Put up targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of more qualified candidates. That's important. You don't have enough time to sift that out. Let LinkedIn sift all the ones that aren't right. When your business is ready to make that next hire, find the right person with LinkedIn Jobs. And now you can post a job for free. Just visit linkedin.com/approachshot. Again, linkedin.com/approachshot to post a job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And we are back, the Approach Shot. I am John Ashton.
And I am Neil Michaels with a 6-pack of questions for Tom Abbott. And just so everybody knows, we're on video, and the minute you said we're going to come back with a six-pack of questions, Tom had this look on his face like, say what?
No one warned me.
So, Tom, we are officially putting you on the hot seat with our six-pack of questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Question 1. Who has been your favorite person to interview?
Gosh, do I have to answer these quickly?
Yes, you do.
Favorite person to interview? It was probably Tom Watson during the Open at Turnberry. What was that, 2009? When he almost won. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you that question in the last segment about 2009.
Awesome. Aside from that, it might be like somebody who was very famous, like Michael Douglas or something like that.
Ooh, nice name drop. Very nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, question 2. A lot of athletes have superstitions, before they do a game. Do you have one before you do a broadcast?
No, but apparently I have phrases that I say that I don't realize I say. Like, who's winning this thing? I always say that. And apparently I say, right, we've got to get to work. I no more of this chatter. I've got to get to work.
Well, it sounds like those could be borderline superstition. Question 3, living or dead, who would you like to have a beer and talk sports with?
The weirdest thing is I don't drink beer, so we'd have to drink some sort of cocktail or wine. Gosh, that's probably Tiger Woods. I think that would be fascinating, although he probably wouldn't want to talk about golf too much. But I think to sit down with somebody like that who's, and hear some great stories, that would be great.
He'd probably say that about you too. Question 4, what's your favorite golf word or golf expression?
Oh my word, that's tough. Favorite golf? Oh my gosh, what would that be? I can't even think of a good golf expression. That's I can't think of.
Apparently, right. Let's get to work is one of them.
Yeah, right. Let's get to work.
And probably 4 is not one.
No, although it's quite good. Isn't it? It's quite useful for. Gosh, I can't think of a good golfing expression.
All right, question 5. Was there an event that had you laughing so hard that you didn't think you'd keep it together on the air?
When we used to do events in Europe. Well, we still do, but we took a year off because of COVID. And we would go over, and it used to be myself, Rich Lerner, and Frank Nobilo. And we used to do the BMW PGA. We would do sort of 9 hours of TV, and by about hour 6 or 7, we were all sort of, slap happy. And we would just start laughing about things. And there were just numerous times where we would all crack up, especially with Frank, because Frank has these great little plays on words and puns the whole time. And we would just have to hit the cough button and we would just be laughing a ton. I can't think of specifics, but there were a lot of times we would have a lot of fun there. They were good times at Wentworth. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Question 6. Since we are the approach shot, in your approach to life, what one rule do you live by?
I would say if you work hard 95% of the time, you only need 5% luck. But if you work hard 5% of the time, you need 95% luck. So that usually is a good approach. Work hard and you'll be a lot lucky. Which means there are some people that don't do a damn thing and they still succeed because they get lucky.
You want to go back to your favorite golf word?
I'm trying to. You really stumped me. I've got to think of something that we say in England that can be repeated.
And just so you know, we do have listeners in Great Britain.
Yeah, they'll know that.
So they'll know.
Gosh, you know what? You've totally stumped me. I'm trying to think of things that I say when I'm playing golf. The people that I play golf with have answered this a lot better than me. I probably say things that I even realize. Apparently, I say "Rip City" a lot. Like when somebody hits it down the middle, it sounds so corny. I can't believe I would ever say that. I used to say, I would say that somebody can't hit a cow's ass with a banjo if they're really bad.
I think that might be my new favorite expression. All right, Tom, you're officially off the hot seat.
Tom Abbot, NBC, Golf Channel, man. Great to spend a little extra time with you this time. And
great to be with you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for spending some time with us here on The Approach Shot. Dad jokes and bad jokes. the funniest golf is a funny game we've ever had. And the